Let's start with the article, the story, which it's a story that's so preposterous on its face. You say it has to be fake, but it's not fake. And then I find it on Fox News. I was like, okay, I'm gonna cite Fox News, but maybe that's not a good place to talk about it. Oh, no, sorry, maybe that's not a legitimate story. Maybe they got it wrong. Fox reporter once got something wrong in Ottawa where she said that the Indigenous lady who got trampled by the horse died. Fox News gets things wrong. Maybe it's wrong. It's not. Now I've been in touch with the actual artist, the actual woman at the heart of the story. It's a true story, and it's preposterous. Preposterous. Let me just get it here. No. Viva Barnes, Brooklyn Dead. Oh, I got an article about Brooklyn Dead. Elon Musk. Men are men. Norwegian artist facing criminal charges, potential prison sentence over gender comments. This is the world we're living in. And I find myself saying, not make it stop as in the world. Make the madness stop. Make this make sense and make people who are otherwise just too lazy and too apathetic to care, make them care. Because my operating theory, and I've been saying it for a while, is that there are very few movements which are more fundamentally misogynist and anti-woman than the purported transgender debate. There can be nothing more misogynist than telling biological women you must compete in competitive sports against biological males. There can be nothing that denies womanhood and the existence of women and the biological differences between men and women that made it necessary to have separate categories so that women could compete at a competitive level and have likelihoods of succeeding and winning without being pitted against a sex that has an inherent biological advantage over them when it comes to certain and most athletic sports. Some people give the examples of gymnastics. Gymnastics, other than being based somewhat on flexibility, and women are typically more flexible than men, is also a subjective sport. Some people point to archery, darts. There are certain sports where I can say, yeah, I don't understand having a women's division. Poker. I was watching poker yesterday, and after one tournament came on, a women's event came on, and I was thinking, chess, poker, things where physical strength, physical stamina, testosterone are not biologically relevant, I can understand that. Where it is, there's nothing more misogynist than telling a biological woman that they need to compete with biological men who might be going through whatever medical procedures are necessary to decrease their inherent biological advantage. There's nothing more misogynist than telling a lesbian woman that she is a TERF for not wanting to engage in sexual activity with a transgender biological male. Nothing. Convince me that I'm wrong. I have an open mind. This is from Redux. I don't know what it is, but I verified multiple sources and have now corresponded with. I know I'm going to mispronounce her name because I'm still not. It's either Tanya or Tonje. A woman in Norway is facing criminal charges and a possible prison sentence of up to 3 years for stating that men cannot be lesbians. Tonje Jevjan, if I got that right, I hope I got it right. A lesbian artist was notified on November 17 that she was under police investigation for hate speech over a statement she posted to Facebook. Let's go see if this links to the Facebook here. I'm not going to be able to read that. Is there a translate function? The article will tell us. It's all in a language that I do not speak. In her post, Jevjan railed against trans-identified males who call themselves lesbians and condemned trans activists who seek to criminalize women who oppose gender ideology. Quote, "It's just as impossible for men to become lesbian as it is for men to become pregnant," Jevjan wrote. "Men are men regardless of their sexual fetishes." Now, I would like to know if this is a translation, if it's fetishes, proclivities, preferences. There might be a number of words that could probably substitute for whatever word was used, because I could see some people saying, it's not a fetish, it's my identity. And for you to call it a fetish is trivializing my identity. Therein lies your thought crime. Therein lies your thought crime, Tonya. Jevjon particularly singled out the actions of prominent Norwegian trans activist Christine Jentoft, a man who claims to be a lesbian mother and who currently serves as a representative for the nation's leading trans activist group, Foreningen FRI. Jentoft has been at the center of a clash between women's rights activists and Norway's hate speech legislation, which was revised in 2020. The amendments went into effect last year. By the way, pay attention to the amendments, because Jordan Peterson was raising the flags about this in Canada back in 2016, back before I was too shy to express my own personal opinion on certain things, as if my opinion could not be a wholly educated and justified opinion worthy of expression on the public square thingy thing. The amendments went into effect last year, included the category of gender identity or gender expression, specifically the provision, specifically the terminology that went into the recent amendments to Canada's criminal code. A move women's rights campaigners in the nation warned would result in a chill over free speech, especially where it related to the reality of biological sex. Let me just see how far down this goes. Now, this goes a little bit, it's a longer article than the first one. We're not going to read through the whole thing, but let's see here. Earlier this year, Jentoft filed criminal charges against Christina Ellingsen, a representative of Women's Declaration International, Norway, for stating that men can neither be lesbians nor mothers. As reported by Redux in May, a police investigation was launched into Ellingsen's alleged transphobia, and like Jevjon, she is facing up to 3 years in prison if found guilty. I thought I had heard December 13, so I thought I had read somewhere that those charges were dropped. I don't know if it happened within a day of this article. And that's it. We're gonna find out more later. Everybody, I'm going to give you the link to this so that you can go ahead and read it yourself. This is the madness of the world in which we're living. Can you imagine what the idea of criminalizing a woman, a lesbian woman, from saying biological men cannot be lesbians? And it's an amazing thing because, you know, you go through the thought experiment where you have transitioners and you have detransitioners. You have people who say, I'm a male who identifies as a female, go through, you know, a certain period of time, certain procedures, and then at some point say, nah, you know, I'm going back to being a male. And did I go from being lesbian to now being straight again? Like, was I gay before? And then when I became a trans, now I'm bisexual. Now I'm heterosexual because I'm attracted to men, but I identify as a woman. If the male goes to being identifying as a female and now says I'm a lesbian and detransitions, do they become heterosexual again? We're living through absolute madness, where stating that a man cannot be a woman is a thought crime, and in certain jurisdictions, an actual crime. So the question is going to be, how far does this go? Jordan Peterson raised the flags, sounded the alarm in Canada 5-6 years ago, and we're seeing it happen in real time now elsewhere. Navy Nam Vet says, has any archaeologist determined any human remains unearthed being other than a man or a woman? Well, they don't know how they identified when they were alive, Navy Nam Vet. Let's see here. Nike 7, $1 Rumbaran says, the PDGA, Pro Disc Golf, just ruled 2 trans women can no longer compete as pros because of when they transitioned. Bear in mind, people, you know, it's like men can be women. There's no difference, except there's such biological differences that they have to create rules that allow for penalizing through medicines the innate biological advantage that men have, but there's no difference between men and women, and you're a bigot facing potential criminal charges if you state that obvious fact. Please stop. Who cares? Says Dana 36G. Well, I care. Monday we're going to have the artist on to talk about the story. So that's the latest in the madness of the world in which we live. Someone make it stop. Not the world, just the madness.